What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 14, 2 weeks of NoFap. The time is 8:37 a.m. It is ab and leg day. I gotta tell you, I woke up very discouraged. I'm still this discouraged person from last video. And the reason for that is because of my business. And I don't know if you know how much money it costs to run one, but when it doesn't go well, I mean, I'm learning certainly a lot of things about my business, but losing that much money is a little discouraging, definitely. So yeah, it's kind of rough. However, just because I am discouraged and disappointed does not mean that I'm going to give up. Everything I've screwed up in is a lesson learned, and I'm just going to use those mistakes, move on. And I think that's important. I think that's important to, well, any facet of life really is. There are going to be times where, especially if you've just started something, there's going to be times where it's not going to be a success right off the bat. There's going to be a lot of moments where you think you should be doing well and you're not. And do you just give up something that you've committed to? Something you've committed yourself to and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is going to be, I'm going to give up working a 9 to 5 and I'm going to try and start a business. Do you just give up because you couldn't produce something that people want just only 2 times? No, you keep going. You find out what works. You find out what doesn't work, and you swallow the disappointment, and you take those lessons with you. Because if I give up now, sure, all that money goes to waste, but the worst thing is everything I learned doesn't apply to anything else. So you might as well, especially if you've made that commitment, keep going until you're good at it. That's why I haven't given up on acting either. Even though I haven't worked in, what, a month? There were times when I didn't work for multiple months. So it doesn't change the fact that I know that I'm an actor. It's not something that I can give up in. Like, I don't see that. I don't see that as an option for me. Because I have all these skills and talents, I'm going to use them. So that's where I'm at right now, is just in a stage of disappointment and discouragement. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. If I did, then what kind of person am I that commits to something and then gives up on it that quickly? So yeah, I know down the line it'll be worth it. But for now, I'm going to focus on my workout, use that energy to work out my abs and legs. So hopefully I'll have a better update later tonight. Or even in the middle of the day, who knows? Who knows? But most likely it's going to be later tonight. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Check out this workout. What's up, everybody? We back. It is 8:48 p.m. It is, it's been a long day. Very long day. Exciting, but long. So I'm gonna get to why it was pretty exciting. Finished my workout, came back, ate food, went to my computer, and I just started working, right? And I was getting ready to kill my product when suddenly I found out that somebody actually bought one. So somebody bought one of my products, and it was a huge deal because this product costs quite a bit of money. And so somebody actually bought it. And with that one purchase, they paid for my ads for the day and a little bit more. So it was very exciting to get to know that people are interested. Not just one, but two. I didn't get the second person to buy, but I checked my business email and saw that they were interested in buying my product. They just needed to know like different sizes and stuff like that, which one they should probably get. So I gave them that. Haven't purchased it yet, but I am excited about it. Afterwards, yeah, I was just kind of with that purchase, I'm probably going to keep running my ads. I'm probably not going to shut down the ads yet. I'm not going to shut down the product yet. I'm going to run my ads for one more day, see if I can get any more sales. If I do, the even more exciting thing is if I do get more purchases tomorrow, I'm probably going to scale my product, which is something that I have yet to do. So I'm interested in trying to see if I can scale this product to attract more buyers. So very exciting. Yeah, business went pretty well today with that one purchase and that one email. So I'm looking forward to the future. If it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, I can scale and that'll be great. But I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I'm gonna look at the results. I want to play this as logically as I can. So very excited though. NoFap was a bit difficult today. I've getting into the second week. The urges hit pretty hard today, and I can't identify the source of it either. It might have been social media, it might have been TikTok, because I have to watch ads to do product research, like watching ads, seeing what other people are doing in the business, and some ads are very provocative and revealing women, and it can definitely be a hindrance and a struggle. However, those hourly push-ups definitely came in handy. So even at this stage of how long I've been doing it, it's still difficult. And I just wish it was easier, but it feels like a lifetime battle, something that I'm just gonna have to get used to have that kind of strength. But it's difficult. It certainly is difficult. It's no walk in the park. But I've done it once before, so if I keep at it, keep on the trajectory I am now, then hopefully things will be easier over time. According to the NoFap community, 90 days is when you can fully reset. So looking forward to that. But yeah, it was definitely very difficult. Anyway, moving on. I shot a Let's Talk today, though. I might scrap it, and I think I might scrap this Let's Talk and try to find a different topic to talk about, because this one was very. I'm scrapping it mainly because I didn't have a very solid idea for it, and I just kind of rambled, which is what I do in these videos anyway. But I want to have some solid, talking points and notes that I can go to at the top when I do a Let's Talk. I want it to be very concise. Not like these vlogs. These vlogs I don't have any plans for. This is just at the top of my head. But I want to have a topic that I want to talk about and my points of the topic. So like an outline, kind of, when I do a Let's Talk. So I might scrap that and re-record it, because the topic is a very interesting one. But yeah. But yeah, I that's my plan for tomorrow is pretty much do the same thing, work out, work on my business, and the business is going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But let's get to your questions. Gray, definitely identify as an introvert. Can't handle being in a crowded party for too long. I prefer to unwind myself at home. Same, bro. Question for you today: in which vlog are you most proud of, and which vlog do you feel has the most accurate representation of who you are? I know all of them are kind of the answer, but I want to know which one kind of shows you beyond the general facade that everybody puts up. It's very difficult because I wouldn't call it a facade. It's just kind of like a mode that you're in every situation. I wouldn't say there's like a facade. Obviously, like there's certain situations and certain people you're with that you have a different mode with. Like the way I act around my parents, I don't act around my friends. The way I act around my friends, I don't act around my the people that I know from church. You know, people that I know from church, I don't act in front of like my parents. And all three of them, I don't act that way when I'm alone. When I'm alone, I'm way more quiet because there's somebody to talk to and all that stuff. But certain friends and certain groups of people have different modes. I wouldn't necessarily call it a facade unless I'm like keeping something back. And sometimes that's not even a bad thing, you know. Sometimes when I'm around, especially with more Christian friends, I hold back a lot more of my brashness. I'm a happier person when I'm around Christians. When I'm not around Christians, sometimes, and it's like a group of non-Christians, sometimes brashness can come out because, you know, they don't share the same convictions as I do, and with more of them around, it's easier for them to influence my behavior. So I'm definitely a little bit more brash when I'm around non-Christians, but yeah, with my parents, I'm definitely way less like open about things because I don't talk about serious things with my parents or with my family in general. I'm way more reserved because they have certain expectations of me. Probably all in my head though, but I grew up with a certain set of expectations of me. So there's just things we don't talk about, and there's behaviors that they'd rather not see. And so because I love them and respect them, I don't share that with them. So yeah. But I don't see that as necessarily a bad thing. It's, you know, I behave because these are people that I love and respect so much that I behave way more politely and respectfully. So, you know, different levels for different people. That should have been a Let's Talk, but I just explained that. I just went on a tangent. So, to answer your question, my vlog, it's very difficult because I'm this mode. I'm always this version of me in these vlogs because I'm basically talking. I know that I'm talking to, it looks like I'm talking to you guys, but I'm really just talking to a camera that's showing a moving picture of myself next to the camera lens. So basically it feels somewhat like I'm talking to myself, somewhat like I'm talking with you guys, but at the end of the day, I know that I might as well be talking to myself sometimes. So it is each day an accurate representation of who I am, and who I am can change day by day. You know, sometimes I'm in a way more chipper mood, and sometimes I'm not, but I'm still me. You know, I'm certainly a lot different than how I was in the first 3 attempts of NoFap. You know, you go back and you watch those videos. That was a weak man. I would reason to say that was a boy that was in those videos and was on his way to becoming a man. and discovering new things about himself, about the world, about manhood. And I don't regret those moments, certainly, but those are definitely different. Those people are definitely different from who I am right now. So yeah, that's a hard one to give you an answer to because of all those factors. So yeah, that's how I'd answer that question. Unfortunately, I wish I could give you more, but now I know it's Alan T, not Alant. Alan T. We talked for 2 hours and decided to separate. My friend, that was probably for the best. She was not my girlfriend. Yeah, that's definitely probably for the best then. I wanted to ask her out according to God's will. That's very difficult to ascertain because there's no guide to dating. There's no guide to biblical dating. It talks about marriage, doesn't talk about dating a whole lot. Honestly, I wanted to meet her in real life before making that decision. My friend, I also have made that mistake. Actually, in my first 3 attempts of NoFap, it was because of that. I had gotten close to somebody for a few months and was not confident in asking her out without meeting her in real life. And she moved here, very close to me, a 15-minute drive away. However, before she moved here, a huge fiasco happened where I no longer want to be around her, and she probably no longer wants to be around me, which I'm completely okay with because she was a walking red flag. But anyway, yeah, we ended on good terms. Good, happy about that. Always keep it respectful, even in the face of rejection, even in the face of something that hurts you. Always be respectful, because maintaining your honor and respect is very important, even in times of grief and loss. We talked about our memories and what it takes to be in a relationship. I also talked about how God was key. She had past experience where something happened. It's hard for her to commit. She never had a boyfriend, and I never had a girlfriend. If God wants us to meet, then it will happen. I see. So both of you are pretty relatively young, but she has a past experience where something is hard for her to commit. Commitment issues are definitely a sign of a red flag, because if you're ready to commit and she's not, if you're not on the same page about that, probably wasn't meant to be. God is key. God is key to a great relationship, 100%. If you do not have that in common, if God is not your first in your life and in both your lives, then, well, there's a verse about being unequally yoked. It isn't impossible, but it is very difficult. And I've seen many relationships where one person's a Christian, another one's not, and they end up divorced. Or one person is extremely unhappy. Actually, both of them are extremely unhappy. I'm excited now because I know God knows best. Amen. Looking back, I think a relationship right now will hold me back. If you're still extremely young, get to work. Build yourself up to become a man first. That's what you need. If you want to have a long-lasting relationship, build yourself up to be a man first. Learn how to talk to women. Learn how to talk to girls. Learn what it means to be a man. What it means to, well, you know what? I'll get into a let's talk about that. Thanks for listening. Anytime, dude. And actually, I don't know if a relationship with someone would hold me back. Okay. We'll see when the time is right. God's will be done. That's true. God's will be done. You never know who He's going to put in your life, or if He will put a person in your life. The first commandment He gave Adam to Eve: be fruitful and multiply, which basically means have sex. God was like, "Here's my first commandment: have sex, have kids, and go out there, enjoy the world that I've made." That was God's first command. But also remember, most of the disciples were single for the rest of their life. Jesus was single for the rest of His life. Singleness is a gift, just as marriage is a gift. If you are single, there's a lot of things you can do for the Lord when you're single. And there's a lot of things you can do for the Lord when you're married. Both are blessings. Both are huge blessings. If you're single, it means God's using you for something that only single people can do. If you're married, God is using you to do something only married people can do. And trusting him with that is very difficult. It was very difficult for me. It's still a little difficult for me because I am a man that desires to be married. I don't think it's unhealthy to want to desire to be married, but whatever God's will is, it's God's will. If he thinks me being married would take me away from him and I'm only focused on my wife and not having a relationship with the Lord, I don't want him to bring a girl in my life. Not until I can get over that. So, yeah. That's a very mature way of looking at it, but it is also a very difficult mindset to have. Saying it is very easy. Living it is very difficult. So I'll pray for you, buddy. Pray for you. Do you have a Discord you want to talk? I do have a Discord, but I don't use it anymore because I only use Discord to game, and I haven't gamed in a long time. And if anything, I would rather have you send a DM or a comment on my on my videos because I want to get to know you guys, but at the same time, like, you know, I also want to keep this just YouTube. So, thank you all for your questions. Thank you for comments. Alan, hope everything goes well. Now, my question for you guys is, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? And I'm thinking about like not one like dish. I'm talking about like, would you rather have breakfast for the rest of your life, lunch, dinner? What would you rather have? And I would probably have to say dinner. A lot of people would say breakfast. Because breakfast food, don't get me wrong, is amazing. But people underestimate the options you have when dinner comes around. You get steak, you get fried chicken, you get pizza, you get a whole bunch of other stuff. So just the diversity of choice that revolves around dinner is why I prefer dinner. Don't get me wrong, breakfast food is amazing, but I prefer dinner. That's me. So yeah, well, if you could have only one meal, what would it be? One time of day, it would probably be dinner for me. And I usually only eat once a day. But yeah, that's my question. For now, I'm pretty tired. This was a very interesting day. I started out like a little disappointed, and disappointed in my business, and now all of a sudden my business has a life. So we'll see how much longer that life can last. So I'm excited, but at the same time, I need to wait for the results, because business is all about results. There's no feelings involved in business. So I gotta calm down. But either way, I'm gonna hit the hay. Thank you all for watching. Stay strong, stay focused. I'm with you guys. I know you guys are with me. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.